All right, folks, man. Back for a post fight, but not to draw criticism to Shakur's performance because I thought Shakur did what he was supposed to do in this fight just based on the stylistic approach of looking at it. Now, this post fight shit from Shakur and his defiance that really came back to bite him in the ass. And you can look through his expressions of how pissed off, upset, and angry he is because he knows with this performance there's going to be a lot of retribution to be paid because people are about to come for his head and you're already hearing it. And his response is how he's quick to jump out there and calling out everybody and want this and that fight and having this confidence of feeling that he is the best out there. But now in this post fight, the thing that bugs me is to hear Shakur come up with some built-in fucking excuse for that motherfucking performance. Wasn't nothing wrong with you. And then you hear to where ESPN is bashing you. ESPN gives the moment at the close of this fight to your opponent. They were really bashing you. And really, Tim Bradley want to bash you, but Tim Bradley didn't want to deal with your adolescent type behavior of how you would want to respond with anger. But looking at Shakur walk to this arena and this pouting shit gives a clear sign of how this shit is starting to affect him mentally with the performance and the fact that the crowd booed. But really what set the crowd off was Shakur being asked about his performance and him saying that he don't care. And that crowd immediately boo. And he said, well, I wasn't feeling good. Why the fuck did you come up with that shit? And then to hear some of the ESPN motherfuckers who want to write that off for the performance. No, you felt perfect, homie. Everything was all right with you, Shakur. You was healthy. And then see, I need to stay out the gym. Man, I don't want to call nobody out. Now you don't want to do all this shit no more. And now you need to fall back. Now you need to slow down. Now you faking injuries because of you being embarrassed. So you got the fucking victory, kid. You want everything to be flawless. You talk this and that shit. And now you ass hurt over you saying the wrong shit about you being fucking defiant and real juvenile in your motherfucking responses to questions and how you come off with shit, that when that crowd lets you hear what they felt from you saying you don't care about how they feel about your performance, and immediately when them boos rained on you, you switch your motherfucking statement over to fucking about a fake injury. If you don't stop with that Keith Thurman shit, Shakur, and accept that you won the fight, you did what you're supposed to do against a fighter who was dangerous, who you couldn't engage with, but you're going to say you don't give a fuck about your performance and immediately turn that shit into an excuse of you being injured, you have really set yourself backwards in the public's opinion, which if you just accept the shit, you got to fucking win on your record. It should have been bring the next guys on. If y'all think I'm flawed or I'm not this and that, bring these next guys on. So now people been avoiding this motherfucker. So don't forget that shit. People been avoiding and ducking the fuck out of Shakur. So now with a performance like that, bring on all the other comers. He's vulnerable. Let's see Shakur fight him since people buy into Shakur ain't that guy since this performance. Bring the other guys on so now we can see the fights and let's watch if they're going to whoop Shakur ass. Not this other shit y'all talking about, but the excuses from Shakur of acting like a pouty ass fucking child, of talking about you said some old disrespectful shit to fans about you not caring. And immediately, the second you hear those boos come in and fill that fucking arena, you turn into you wasn't feeling good. Well, through the buildup, you smile and you look in yourself. You don't look depleted. You don't look drained. You don't look sick. You don't look like none of that shit. You look great when you're taking a picture with Floyd, Andre Ward, and Terrence Crawford. You look ready. You was in there feeling yourself once you began to pick this guy up. And you began to whip him with the jab. Get out the way of him. You look fine. You're not hurt, buddy. Your feelings are hurt. Your character is hurt. Your confidence is shattered. Not in the ring, but based off of what you got to deal with when you get back on Twitter. Like, that's why this guy calling you Twitterson. You spend a lot of time on that shit, falling into the opinions and wanting to get back at people, people. And then sometimes you have these not so, graceful, wide separating ass performances. And where you looked at is for running and all this other shit. You got to calm down on a lot of these opinions. This is part of the bumps in the road of a career. I don't knock the performance. I knock the excuses this nigga just pitched out. I need to stay out the gym. I'm gonna need to take some time off. Yeah, because I be spending too much time in the gym. And see, that's how injuries happen. What the fuck are you talking about, Shakur? It's gonna take, look, he got the right mentor. It's gonna take for them to lift him up. But you don't ever come with this defiant shit. And then immediately you turn into some excuses, faking injury. And then you have your own network bashing you. And then you get Tim Bradley and them buying into the fucking injury. And that one other dude was trying to buy in. Yeah, something was wrong. He didn't really throw too many of these hands. He wasn't really, he was punching with these hands. Stop it. Shakur let it be known of why he didn't let off shots. Yeah, this guy got a lot of power, felt the power, and So stop that shit. Let me go in your comments real quick. I'm going to continue to cook on this shit. And then Velocity Cuss says, like Milk Dud Head Bradley said, one hand or not. Says people brought tickets to see you, so you better perform. Exactly. People buy tickets and you say you don't care is a problem with these fans hearing a motherfucker say that shit. And you know what? Boxing doesn't need to hear no fucking fighter talk about not caring. Shakur is young, but Shakur needs to be taught and learn from this shit. You don't say that shit. It's not the performance. The performance was what it was supposed to be. The post-fight responses was what the problem is. Don't y'all fucking fool. Y'all think Shakur versus Devin is going to look like this. Y'all stupid as fuck. You think Shakur versus Tank is going to look like this. It's not. Those are fights this nigga will have to go and take a risk. You don't go in there and take a unintelligent dangers against De Los Santos, but you could give more. But he couldn't hit De Los Santos. Like, you got to peep the fight. He couldn't touch. De Los Santos is very skillful, his goddamn self. But Shakur could have gave a little bit more, but Shakur was a little weary. But the post-fight is everything, the excuses, and now he's faking an injury. Homie, you don't do that. Now you want to take a step away from the fight. Now you don't want to call people out no more. Now you have to go to the drawing board after earning a win. You think Navarrete gonna do that shit? Dude, come on, Shakur. Cool Breeze says, good vibes. Mir says, Thursday night fighter, man. Nah, I ain't gonna knock Shakur like that. And then Don Zeeby says, Jake Paul and Nico Ali 2024. Jay Dix says, Tim Bradley finally said some real shit in the post-fight. Did he say something about bashing the performance of Shakur? But Bradley was trying to say that he thought something was wrong. Wasn't nothing wrong with nothing with Shakur. Shakur wasn't hurt. Shakur ain't have no injury nowhere. Shakur was feeling good. Like, wasn't nothing wrong with this motherfucker. This motherfucker was 100% fucking healthy. His motherfucking brain is affecting him because of the crowd booing when he said that stupid ass shit that no fighter should be saying. Unappreciative of the fans that come out to see. This is a fucking Thursday, buddy. You'll fuck your money off making statements like that, Shakur. You don't care type shit. Nigga, you better fucking care. Or just be like, man, I'm sorry, fans, is just this. But this nigga got such a quick tongue to lash back out people in response because he spent a lot of times lashing back out on fans on YouTube and Twitter. You don't do that to motherfuckers when you broadcast it, homie. You turn that shit off because like I was saying earlier, he almost tried to lash back out at the Kriegel guy when the Kriegel was saying you got wrinkles in your game, and Shakur thought he was trying to say some slighted shit. Like, why you just so quick to react and thinking this and that? But nah, Shakur, you don't do that shit. Says Shakur says think he's Floyd or Bud. No, Shakur, y'all got fucked up. Shakur is highly skilled, and y'all tripping, thinking this performance mean he gonna do that with these other guys. We've seen many great fighters go in there and have issues with people we don't know, but De Los Santos is good. People just ain't know who he was. Seen the nigga foot speed, nigga is fast as fuck. And then Cool Breeze says, how many fights are left on his contract, man? The ESPN ain't happy with that fool tonight. Because once again, networks right now that cover boxing are kind of in this balance right now on whether they want to keep it. And don't think Top Rank ain't in that same situation. This ain't do no justice for fucking Top Rank in ESPN tonight. And then they fucking one of they star fighters say some shit like this. Come on. And then they give more to ground. Second time Top Rank done gave ground towards all the attention going to a PBC fighter. Charles Martin. Now De Los Santos. Why you see Sam Watson in there? And they giving him the mic. This shit turned into the victory for Shakur turned into the public opinion victory for De Los Santos based on Shakur's response post-fight. You gave this motherfucker extreme grounds by this shit. And you gave him room to call you Chikakur or Shakur Twitterson. You a chicken, you ran, you ain't gonna do the rematch. And now, nigga, you don't got it in you to call Devin and all these niggas out no more. You got to take a step away from boxing. Shakur, what the fuck? That's mine. I ain't got no knock on his performance because I said when the fight started, he didn't either throw no combination, he needed jab this motherfucker one punch at a time. And he did some of it. He wasn't letting that jab go because he's worried about this guy's speed. Roland Curtis says Shakur won, says, but boxing lost tonight. I got to agree with that one. Don Zeeby says Shakur should never headline. No, I ain't agreeing with that stupid shit, Don Zeeby. Y'all sound like kids in this motherfucker. Says should never headline any car, says until he is in at least one exciting fight. I mean, you crazy. Shakur been in major exciting fights, but he can't go out like this. And he cannot say this kind of shit. He needs to accept the fans feel this certain way. Yeah, fans, I'm sorry, but this guy, I give major props to De Los Santos. This is a very skilled, dangerous fighter, and I have to move around, work my jab, break the fight down for the fans. Give props to De Los Santos. Control the crowd, motherfucker. That's the other thing when you get people who don't know how to speak or use this motherfucker. He got IQ in the ring, but he don't know how to use this shit. Yeah, De Los Santos this, and I have to be careful because in this ring, anything can happen. And I'm sorry I didn't give off the performance. I don't care. So what? Like, want to be old thug, hat turned to the side on New Jersey ass nigga. It's the problem with niggas coming in with street shit. The fans gonna alter. These paying niggas will ruin you. These paying fans you turn your little ass at will fucking destroy you, boy. You don't turn your ass at the fucking fan. You turn your ass to these niggas off of YouTube and Twitter and shit. But sometimes you shouldn't even engage in that shit. Kenny Porter's right hand says, man, I got ridden up at work for not watching the fight, but for falling asleep. Says Shakur, sleepy time, Stevenson. See, this is what's gonna add on with Shakur and this type of shit. And then Velasquez says the audacity, says calling him the next Sweet Pete. Shake my head, says Shakur, the Puerto Rican, Sandor Martin. Shakur is black and Puerto Rican, homie. And then Kenny Porter's right hand. Y'all just tripping, thinking Shakur ain't the top level guy in this boxing shit. He is. And then Kenny, because he figured De Los Santos out. He just worked him off of the jab, moved around. Kenny Porter's right hand says, did you see what Devin tweeted? No, let me see what Devin tweeted real quick. Because, they shouldn't go too far, but Devin has every right to tweet this shit. Devin got a fight coming up. It shouldn't be tweeting too much. Let me go into Devin Haney. So they showing Devin here. Let's see Devin. And Devin has every right to fucking go right at Shakur. And Shakur about to be crying like a motherfucker. Says, stop that scared narrative. Okay, let me pull this one up on the screen. Let's go into Twitter real quick. I got to pull it up first because y'all know I like watching that. I like watching Twitter to me mean pussy. So I like looking at the little poo nannies I'll be seeing on this shit. So let's go into this shit. Let me see. Let me go into Devin Haney. All right. So we right into it. Keep it safe so I don't get a flag. Damn well they love flagging me. All right, so here we go. Let's pull up the Devin Haney post because it's what happened when this motherfucker go back bashing. You throw stones at one motherfucker and then you got a performance and it looks like this. Devin Haney says, stop that scared narrative. Says, nobody was ever scared of that bum. Says he wanted clout. Says that's all they used my name for. Woo! Says should have offered this bum 10%. Says I was being too generous. Says the grind is the reward. Says, okay, that was from 19 hours ago. Says, should have offered this bum 10%. Says, I was being too generous. Says, stop that scare narrative. Nobody was ever scared of that bum. Says he wanted clout. Says that's all they use my name for, man. And it almost looked that way. Now they don't want to call them out no more. He need to take time away from the sport. Shakur, I can't believe you said that fucking shit. You won the fucking fight. Cool Breeze says he's a man child. Shemaine saying got 100% up there. Cool Breeze, well, I want to make sure I'm missing no comments. Cool Breeze says time to accept the call to manhood. Yeah, he got to man up, man. He got to stop that adolescent New Jersey, turn your hat to the side, being defiant bullshit. He could have learned how to control the crowd and smoothing over this shit. You won the fight, but you got to give props to De Los Santos. You should have went up, hugged De Los Santos. Great. Thanks for challenging me type shit. Woo, woo, woo. Win the crowd over, stupid motherfucker. The fuck are you doing talking about, so what, I don't care? Oh, no, I wasn't feeling good. Man, what the fuck kind of change up is that shit? Woo, Shakur, man. I about to get done with, but he said that stupid shit. And he all pouting as he walking out. Like, Shemaine says that so that was sad to watch. No, it was a boxing match, but the post fight was sad to watch. To hear that nigga, to me, I'm not bashing the performance because, like I said, I knew what Shakur needed to do. And then Jannard Hill says Devin Haney says just destroy Shakur on Twitter. And see, I don't spend time on Twitter reading niggas' comments. I'll be on there watching bitches plug motherfucking rosebuds in their pussies and butt plugs in their ass, and them motherfuckers either getting fucked or rubbing pussy. That's what I'm on Twitter for. I can give two fucks what these niggas write about, but Dev got every right to bash that nigga. Diamond Newman says it was a stalemate, says no offense, all defense. Absolutely, because even ESPN was saying this was one of the lowest scored CompuBot punch stat fights in history, or some shit like that. But you didn't get much from De Los Santos towards the second half of the fight. He faded off. He was fearful. He couldn't figure Shakur out. He got to learn to cut the fucking ring off. And it's almost like if you don't get Shakur to run for him, there's no point in you rematching. Should have displayed better ability to cut the ring off. Early on, your footwork was great. You were styling on this nigga, salsa dance, and then you got away from that shit. Laska says, Loma Chicken says, could have cooked Twitterson. No, it'd be a different fight. Y'all got it twisted. And who knows what these other fighters will fight De Los Santos like. They'll probably be moving the same way because you got to watch for this dude. You see how fast that nigga is? Shakur didn't have this huge separation in speed. He didn't have huge separations in some loud move. Now starting to move and use that ring, De Los Santos could have moved forward and get off on him. De Los Santos has this quick burst area that he can close in on. He shows good loudly, but over the short burst like most short people. And Shakur just had the long range, keep him outside. And Charmaine says, Shakur says it's fresh meat out here. Nah, he's fresh meat for criticism. But in that ring, you're a fucking fool to think you gonna do in this ring or against Shakur, who really didn't get beat the fuck up. But you ain't about to do nothing in there with Shakur. And matter of fact, I hope people hold these opinions and say, yeah, now I want my favorite fighter to fight him. Fuck that. Go fight him. And even if you don't throw 10% at him or 15, go fight him. And then see if you walk into a mirage where you thought you seen lagoons and all this other shit. Make the fight with him. But this how when I know when I'm on YouTube and I'm listening to y'all opinions that y'all don't know shit about no fighting. Wonder if half you niggas ever fought before. With the way people bash, but I get it. It's the back and forth, the clown nigga, but the performance was what it is. And style wise, he had to do what he had to do. Let me add that. And then Jerron Jones, you got to change up the N word. I had to approve it, but I'm not approving again. Put a symbol in the eye if you want to write nigga, because YouTube ain't gonna let you write it like that. Y'all gotta learn how to outsmart these platforms so they don't block your shit. So let me continue on. Y'all rolling in with the comments. Velocicuts says that nigga says gonna have a meltdown. Like facts, Velocicuts. For real. Shakur probably is gonna have a meltdown. And they're gonna be out in the streets. They're gonna have to get around him. And Shakur gonna need to wake up, man. You little pouty, tempered ass little fucking boy, man. You got a daughter and you still like a boy. Nigga, build yourself up, Shakur. You better not have no fucking mental meltdown over this shit. You better lift your motherfucking funky ass self up. and stop making excuses. You got to stay out the gym. You wasn't feeling. Get the fuck out of here. You felt good than a motherfucker, dude. It wasn't no fucking not feeling good. Now, I don't want to call nobody out. I need to really look. I really got to step back, and now I got to re-look things. I got to go to the drawing board. The fuck is wrong, dude? And then Tyrese says, who won, Reggie? Shakur. That's the crazy part. This nigga won, and he really lost. But even on my scorecard, let me go to my scorecard. On my scorecard, I had that motherfucker winning by 1 point. And this even with a round, and it could have been a draw, because let me go to my scorecard, because I had that one round where I couldn't score because these niggas just sat in front of each other. Round 4, I couldn't score for nobody. But I got Shakur winning by 1 round with an even round. So now let's say this round is given over to De Los Santos. I have a draw. I have a draw there. So that fight could have went either way. It was a very close fight. And that's why I was like, man, Judge could pull some other shit. Shakur think he won, but De Los Santos started letting the momentum shift. And then Jannar Hill says in and out, says pause, says then circle around the ring, throw the jab, says rinse and repeat. He could have gave off more, but it was like Shakur had the shit stuck in his mind. Mr. got hit with something because he talked about the guy having power. And that guy was so explosive early on until Shakur started getting his feet up under him, able to move. And the Don Z says Shakur needs to get off his high horse. Absolutely. Humble his fucking self and fight like a hungry fighter. No, you got to fight intelligent. You got to fight hungry, go out there and put yourself in danger and get knocked out because you want to slug with a nigga you don't match up in power. You don't do that. He says most fighters are entertaining. He says until they move up and start fighting bigger opponents. Says then they start boxing. You're supposed to box. That's even like with the Cash Flow fight. I want to go back to Cash Flow fight where he got in there with the one fight. Now this is the one thing where you want people to exchange. Where Cash Flow comes out there, he drops the guy twice early in the fight. Wants to come out there, wants to get off trying to throw bombs down this guy. That opponent made an adjustment on Cash Flow. He woke up, realized I'm the taller fighter. I'm Ranger. I'm going to start moving around on Cash Flow. Keep him on the outside. Cash Flow ain't been busy, been out the ring for a while. And I'm going to style on him and start boxing. And he started boxing and tapping motherfucking Floyd Cash Flow ass up. It was simple as that. You just got to make the adjustment. That guy didn't make the adjustment. Now it's going to be so much criticism coming from this performance. And then the other sucker shit you're going to see is many of the people wanting to challenge Shakur who stayed away from fighting him. Now you're going to see them guys running out there to want to challenge him and calling them out. Go out and challenge this guy. Yes, make the fights. Yeah, you think you've seen holes in his ability. Yes, it is time to go out there and fucking fight Shakur. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we want. That's what we need. Go out there and do that shit. That's what I hope this shit leads to for Shakur. And then therefore we see what Shakur does against these, these fighters with even status as Shakur. So it's time to see them do that. But you ain't gonna get that shit with these other guys in Shakur that you got from here. And then this Mech says Haney gonna offer 10% now. Says, and this is why I stream. A lot of people drawing criticism. And ultimately, it's one thing for people at home to criticize it. When the motherfuckers in that arena, got the booing your motherfucking ass. There was a little lightweight with it, but when you made that statement, you set off their true feelings on what they felt about your performance and what they feel about your fucking ass to say you don't care. Remove that I don't care shit out your vocabulary. Man, I be getting in my son motherfucking ass when he say that I don't care shit. I will slap the dog shit out your motherfucking ass. Don't you ever talk about what the fuck you don't care about. You better act like you care. Like, that's a refusal to let a motherfucker go around not caring about some shit. You don't gotta be emotional and cry about some shit because it's not right, but care about it. So that way you can look at it, reassess that shit, and fix it. That's all Shakur had to do. Fix the shit. Grow from that motherfucking shit. Fucking telling you don't care. You don't care. You say that I don't care shit under your breath or in private. Said, but Shakur has been born since he came out that Beijing Olympics. Of course, Don Z, you coming in with the Tourette syndrome, repeat of the same shit. Velasquez says Edwin deserves says the running back says, but who's watching? Shakur ain't gonna run that fight back, and Bob and them not gonna make that fight unless Edwin start doing more and more shit. Because this is what Edwin can't sit his career in a holding pattern waiting for Shakur, like you see with Isaac Cruz. Edwin just got key going out there making examples of motherfuckers because he went in here and ain't get dominated by Shakur. Shakur ain't whip his ass. He ain't really whip Shakur ass. He can continue to go on. You done fought one of the best niggas in this class and age group of boxing. You went in there, gave him his tough fight. That shit gonna always live under the history of Shakur's career. And whether Shakur continue to move on, continue to grow in his career, and as Santos grows in his career and remains undefeated or suffers 1 or 2 losses, but remains competitive and is there, Shakur is going to want to fight him. People going to want that shit to be circled around. So he ain't got to hold on that because Bob and them ain't going to want to see that fight again. And even Shakur goes to Floyd and all them, they ain't going to want to see that fight again right now. And there's other names out there. And Don Zeeby says, so ain't no thing Haney talking about I don't want to fight him if he moving back down or stay successful at 140. Don Zeeby says Haney should offer a $600K flat fee. And then Negative 9 says, I can't wait to hear what the general has to say about Shakur. Says he's going to cook the freaking Rican. Yeah, I think he was live before I went on. I was listening to a little bit of this shit. And then Nano Boxer says, Shakur says it's hot garbage juice. Nah, it says, and I'll never watch another Shakur fight. Man, y'all lying out y'all fucking asses. Y'all gonna watch Shakur. Cool Breeze says, nobody owes you anything. So just because you're talented, people are going to turn away, especially when you tell them you don't care about the fans' opinion. Facts, bro. That was so idiotic. And that's the only reason why I'm doing my post fight, because it was idiotic for fucking Shakur to say that dumbass shit. And then Don Zeeby says, Negative 9 says, you mean His Excellency. He's talking about 78 is their excellency. He like the Saudi king over in this motherfucking YouTube shit. And then Kenny Porter's right hand says, Cool Breeze says he has one more fight left on his contract. And then Cool Breeze says, thanks to Kenny. And then my brother, the science examiner in the building, says, I just wanted to shout out my brother. He says, I wish I could catch the entire live show, says, but my schedule was too hectic. Salute, bro. Says, as usual, says, I had to catch the replay, fam. Says, tell him Tank said it, man. Yes, indeed. Salute my brother Tank. That's why I do the reading shit. Tank inspired that shit. And then Velocity Cut says, only 15 punches strong in the 12th. Says, lowest in boxing history. Says, speak on it. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Only 15 punches. But it's on both sides. It ain't just Shakur. It's on De Los Santos' side, too. De Los Santos should have cut that ring off, did a better job cutting the ring off. Like, he has the footwork. He has the speed. These motherfuckers was both fresh. Both of them was fresh. And I can feel fans' resentment towards that. Like, y'all didn't leave anything. And then wasn't Shakur bashing Jermell Charlo performance? This is why these fighters got to stop. Let fans who ain't competing do all that fucking talking shit, bashing one another, because you got to get in the ring and you go in here and do the same thing. And now people look at your fight. You saying what Charlo did against Canelo. You went in here against De Los Santos, and people gonna view you did a Jermell Charlo, which I don't view it as that. I thought Shakur did what he's supposed to do. And then I know Box says the Puerto Rican says took an L for this fight tonight, because Shakur claims Puerto Rican, not black. What does that even matter? That shit ain't no big deal. So what, he claimed Puerto Rican, but he knows he's black. Y'all take that shit a little bit too far. Says y'all can have that bum, man. Shakur black, so he ain't even gotta get a black card. The nigga black. He got black family, black mama, but guess what he got? A Puerto Rican dad. You can't take that away from that nigga. Nigga Puerto Rican. You tell something in his ass with the fucking way his hair look. And the Velocity Cut says Edwin says just took the little fan Shakur had. He gained something definitely from that shit. Edwin has definitely propelled himself. And it's funny that Shakur walks out as the victor, but really he took a heavy loss, and it's a loss that's going to impact him mentally if he don't know how to deal with this shit. Look at him. This him in the locker room after getting another bullshit belt from the WBC. Let's him in the locker room. He can't even celebrate this shit because now what's dawning on him is what the fuck he said in that post fight that set everyone off. And then all of his comments to people and saying this and that about people. That shit is affecting him. This is how he looking, walking back to the locker room. He's pissed the fuck off. He's looking down, walking ahead of his team, not even wanting to be embraced, not wanting to be spoken to. Nigga is hurt, having a lot of soul searching to do. This shit, he took a heavy hit on this one tonight, for real. Heavy hit. Don Z, the King Porter's right hand says, next time, says, if you know you're not ready to sleep, says don't watch any Shakur fight. And Jay Dixon says his post-fight speech says make him look mentally weak. Says like T.O. Yeah, that was some real mentally weak shit, no doubt about that. To say that I don't care shit and then immediately switch. So you don't give a fuck is the first thing come out your mouth. The minute you hear that crowd booing, the minute you hop in and say, I didn't feel good. That's what yes, you did. You was moving well throughout the whole fight. You ain't tired. You ain't fading one round. When your jab started snapping, you talking shit to the dude. You being rough and physical with the dude in the clinch. You doing all this roughhouse shit. That don't look like no injured motherfucker. Man, I need to stay out the gym. I don't need to be going to the gym that much. That's how fighters get hurt. You wasn't saying none of that shit before that shit. It ain't get Bud hurt. Bud live in the gym. Bud be shooting basketball and hooping, wrestling with niggas like Shakur. You mentally weak like a child. Not mentally weak like you want to cry and shit. You want everything to go a certain way. And everything in life ain't gonna be that way. You gotta learn how to stand through that fucking fire. Like I say, you should have stand in that shit. Congratulated De Los Santos. Like, man, this is a bad dude, man. You're a bad guy, man. Give it up to De Los Santos. But yeah, I just want to say this is a tactical style at the fight. This guy's dangerous. A lot of power, a lot of speed. Y'all see that, man? Control this shit, homie. Control. Stop trying to make everything. He so much want to be in the center of shit. He don't know how to calm shit down. You could have easily built it up around you in there against a real motherfucker in the ring and could have used that shit to your fucking benefit. But these niggas is young, ego, pressed ass motherfuckers, and it's gonna hurt them. And motherfuckers who egos just be too high up and think everybody just lesser than them motherfuckers be the ones cracked. Now this nigga got to take away a step away from boxing and shit. Jannar Hill says, how can Shakur carry the torch of Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford? He can carry it, bro. Y'all tripping. Says Bud and Ward has never had a performance like that. Nah, but sometimes opponents, man, everybody's different, man. You can't make comparisons, man. I don't compare motherfuckers, but Shakur, I see greatness. Devin, I see greatness. Tank, I see greatness. Tio, I see greatness. They just got to fight one fucking another. Now from this person had this performance and now he can't do that. We don't know. Everybody got to fight each other. They got to even fight De Los Santos now. What do they do in the ring against Del Santos? Now, Del Santos' greatest matchup to me will be him and Tank. Tank ain't going to move around. He ain't going to move. And it's a dangerous fight. But I think Tank will probably get De Los Santos up out of there. But then what happens if De Los Santos hit Tank? And you know, I think that's a great matchup. I think it's a real great matchup. Dev and De Los Santos. Dev's going to be moving as well. Dev's going to be moving like a motherfucker. You're going to get the same kind of performance because they're the same kind of skills. Or maybe Dev figures De Los Santos out quicker. Or maybe Dev establishes his range and height much earlier. Boxing IQ 360, De Los Santos should have cut the ring off. Facts says and made it a fight. Shakur made it look easy. Says that's a dub. Thank you, Boxing IQ. Thank you, Boxing IQ. And then Auto Box says Shakur says it's smart, says a step away from boxing. Says and go work at McDonald's. Says because ain't nobody paying to watch that bum. Man, y'all smoking dope. And then Kubri says the James Harden to us is the James Harden of boxing. Is the Clippers still losing? Because I don't hear my cousin O'Deuce. He was all excited about the Clippers season. And now the niggas James and Kmart, they ain't winning shit. But they gonna catch on. I ain't gonna knock because James Harden over there. They'll pick up their rhythm. I'm glad to see where everybody bashed my boy Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, I stunned on y'all motherfucking asses who don't know football. And Texas Rob says was a stat card, in my opinion. Says I'm hype on the Thursday. Says and Pro Box was yesterday. 2 days in a row. Says on a weekday. Says be hype. Thank you, Texas Rob. Let's talk real boxing fan shit. Thursday fight, and all you niggas is crying and he ain't this. He don't need niggas. It was Thursday fights. Then we got boxing on Thursday. We had Navarrete and them give off a good fight. We watched Shakur end up in a fight to where he didn't look that impressive. You watch some other up and coming motherfuckers. Now that motherfucker Bruce Carrington, was that his name? That young dude. That motherfucker bad. Hey, that fucking Vargas son, he bad. Man, there's a lot of good shit. Thursday night of boxing. I'm at work watching this shit. 2 o'clock. Keep this Thursday shit going. That's why I don't be want to watch boxing with none of you niggas. I don't be want to go to fight events with none of y'all niggas because y'all niggas ain't fight fans. Y'all niggas on Twitter to get on there. He didn't look that good. Now I'm about to go on my Twitter and go talk about him. I'm getting the comment to talk about him and change his name up to Shakur and Twitter sending. The fuck out of here. Man, this shit is boxing. We got boxing on motherfucking Thursday with a good card, no doubt about that shit. And the mirror says Tank versus Cord. Says we'll be Kerr going to sleep, says instead of the fans, man. And absolutely, that's what people want to see. Tell Tank to make the fight now. Tell Tank to make the fight. Tell Floyd to make the fight. -9 says I've never watched Shakur fight. Says I don't watch refried bean eaters fight. Man, y'all sick. And then Humble Servant says this was my first full Shakur fight and my last. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Kubri says right, Texas Rob. And then Mir says why y'all keep crying about his Puerto Rican heritage? Because these niggas ought to be crying about they black heritage because you niggas is embarrassments to being black. So if I don't blame Shakur, fuck it. I'm Mexican. Fuck that. You niggas don't really represent what blackness is. So fuck what that nigga claim me Puerto Rican. Half you niggas sell out to your race. Half you niggas Indians. Half you niggas is Hebrew Israelites and Emotet and what's the other shit I done heard niggas came into grow up in black family. Everybody in your family black except your ass and read a book. And now you done change all this other shit, all this Deuteronomy all in your head and shit. You niggas is crazy. Motherfuckers call him Shakur because he found his dad is a Puerto Rican. Nigga, Puerto Rican, motherfucker. He a black Puerto Rican. And then Jannar Hill's laughing out loud says Shakur says pulled a real big baby mental health wild card. Says in the post-fight interview, laugh out loud. Yeah, that post-fight interview was ridiculous from Shakur. Laska says, what did Floyd gay nephew Javante say about Shakur? Says, I know he talking shit. Let's hear do Tank be on it? Like I said, I don't do Twitter and shit. I don't be doing that shit. I tell y'all, man, motherfuckers is telling me about Twitter a long time ago. And the first time I clicked on Twitter and I seen a bitch with a motherfucking toy in her pussy or her and they're getting fucked. Or bitches I see on Instagram and then see them on Twitter showing they pussy and they shit pretty. I ain't reading this nerdy ass lame shit reading niggas go back and forth on Twitter and half of the fighters ain't gonna fight each other. Fuck that. I'm gonna watch these pretty ass bitches on here doing a little raunchy ratchet shit. Yeah. This is why they listen to all that Sexy Red music. They be backing that shit up. And then they talk all that hoe shit, and them bitches be on there doing real hoe shit for free. And then Silvestri says Haney brings more excitement in his fights. People say Haney born. That's what people just gonna keep running with narratives. I don't get caught up in who born, who's more exciting. Now I would counter that shit when I hear people say stupid shit. Now let Haney have a born fight. I'm gonna be on there counter because I'm gonna throw it back in people's faces. Nobody cares about that shit. People were so caught up on wanting to bash Haney at one point, saying, "Oh, he got no chin. He got caught by Linares." Like, where the fuck people get Haney ain't got a chin? Haney got hit with a solid punch from a hard punching dude, and he couldn't knock him out. But he dominated the fight. That's the ignorance of boxing fans that they pull that shit with Devin Haney. They don't like Haney because his dad on there. His dad go on these shows, and some niggas kiss Haney ass because they on their knees for his dad giving them interviews. Like, my fucking dudes is weird, man. Don Zibi says Shakur needs to learn Mexican style. No, he don't. And then Jerron Jones says Tank will eat this ninja up alive, period. We don't know that. We don't know that. Don't let what you watch happen in this fight think it's going to happen with him. That same thing people thought when they watched Tyson Fury go through a very rough fight against Otto Wallen, and then to go in there whooping Deontay Wilder ass. This is how people feed off of shit. Who is somebody else? When people don't watch Hagler go through a rough fight and thought they had him, and he go in there and whoop great motherfuckers' asses. We don't watch many great fighters go through tough fights, and people think they done lost something and get in the ring with them, get their ass whooped. I don't get caught up in that shit. And then my brother in the building, Shadow Band in the building, Calico, what's up, bro? Says Pathic performance. Performance, I wouldn't say Pathic. It could have been better. Could have been the post-fight statement was very Pathic. That post-fight tantrum was Pathic as fuck, in my opinion. Asia Mass says, breaking news, says Shakur preparing to sign multi-million-dollar deal with Unisom, insomniac percentage at all-time low, says during Shakur Stevenson ESPN title fight. And then Jerron says he was crying, man. Shakur probably did start crying. He probably did start crying, man. He feel lonely now. Shadow Band says we 30 likes in this bitch. 30 likes. Y'all hit, like I say, for me, that like button don't mean shit. That's why you don't hear me calling it. I don't give a fuck. You hit the dislike. It's because it's 30 people or whatever, how many people come in. Niggas ain't got to hit the like button for me. I don't do that like button shit. I give 2 fucks about that shit. I don't need how niggas be pushing that like button shit. That shit don't be doing nothing for nobody. And the Boxing IQ 360 says people hated Floyd, says for being too good. Yeah, people will always hate something somebody do in the fight. And the Shy 702 says nigga says that shit made me sleepy. It made you sleepy, but it ain't make me. I call that shit. Was it what could have been more? Yeah, but I'm not gonna be running around crying it was boring. Nah, I ain't gonna do that shit. Even the Brian Norman fight where people saying that shit was boring. Was it like a fight that didn't give enough because one fighter was so flawed and not knowing how to put shit together, but it slows down to where you can't push Brian Norman and he's this and that, he's not ready. But a boring fight, yeah, because Randleman could have did more and Norman could have did more. So people view it as a boring fight. I look at it as a fight and things to look at that they can change. And the Texas Rob says 55 million, says salute Asia Math. And the Texas Rob says salute to Calico. Shadow Band, who is Calico, says salute. Says nobody swung, says to the end of round 4. Yeah, you got to put a lot of shit on De Los Santos for not taking full advantage of the fact that he had Shakur with his hands in his pocket. He was trying to, he was exploding at moments, but he could have had more. He should have went for the gusto. Black Cuss says people were literally leaving T-Mobile Reno, says while they were still fighting. Damn. And you know who's seeing that? Executives from Top Rank. Shadow Band. It was just a matchup. It was just a matchup that just didn't benefit Shakur from how his style was. Shadow Band says Texas Rob says, oh, says that's you, bro. Says what up? And then Boxing IQ says Shakur beat De Los Santos with a jab. Says that's elite. Absolutely. See, Boxing IQ a boxing motherfucking. I like people that talk like that. And the Shy 702 says niggas says I went to the gym. Man, good for you, man. Hopefully you did a motherfucking set of 10 in that motherfucking. And the Shadow Band, because it's your motherfucking set. Now you should be back on the weights. And the Shadow Band says we need 27 likes. And the KG says he did the same thing against Nakatia. Says this is scared. Says or man, he is scared to get hit by big power punchers. No, you. This is the thing. You have to watch for that shit. And Nakatia was an awkward dude. He caught Shakur in that fight early. You don't play around with a motherfucking power. You need to figure it out. And that's what he had to do. He got to figure that shit out. But the Shakur started establishing himself and started landing on this guy. But that guy was very quick twitch muscle type dude. He's very fast. And then King Asian Madden, Shakur had to maintain distance. That's why Shakur never fell within that gap where it benefited the range of fucking De Los Santos. Shakur was always away from that shit and establishing his jab. And then King of Max says, Boxing News says, Rexall set to finalize multi-year endorsement deal with Shakur. And Velocity cuts in there rolling. And then Jerron Jones says Shakur feels bad, says because his peers never received that treatment from the crowd. They booed every round. Yeah, his spirits are very fucking depleted right now. Shadow Band says he only fight on Thursday. or he should only fight on Thursday. I think more fighters should fight on Thursday. Shit, fuck that. Boxing need Thursday and Tuesday fights. Motherfuckers should fight on Tuesdays and all that shit. Wednesdays, all that shit. Y'all ain't stuck on that Saturday shit. I get mad ain't enough boxing through the week. And Texas Rob says, yeah, bro, says this says Rob G. And Kenny Porter's right hand says mental health says it's important, says and nothing to be played with. Says, but I can see Shakur using that excuse. There's nothing anyone can disprove, just something people hide behind. So just like when they say God told me. And Jerron Jones says, I don't think Edwin says wants to chase him around the ring. But Edwin ain't got to chase him. He learned how to cut the ring off. Shadow Ben got the fist up. And King H Max texts Rob salute. And Jay Dixon says Edwin should have pressed the fight. Thanks, bro. Exactly. Says and at least try to win the jab fest. But hopefully he doesn't turn into Pitbull Cruz and hold out. Thank you, bro. Thank you. We on the same shit, Jay Dixon. Exactly. And all Shadow Band says all of a sudden says his goons blame it on the death of Takeoff. Man, he better not pull that Takeoff bullshit, man. I can't believe Shakur said that bullshit in the post fight, and then all of a sudden he can't call motherfuckers out no more. And Velasquez says Raymond says Mary Maria, what is that? Morado says might fuck around and stop Shakur. Man, don't y'all get too caught up on what y'all think other fighters gonna do to Shakur, because it ain't gonna happen. And man, y'all write to me comments, man. I gotta get back to my FBI files, man. I can't believe, nigga, I've been on binge watching SBI files, man. That shit been so fucking good. Cause I used to see FBI files back in the day, and this shit looked like some real low budget shit. But man, these motherfucking FBI file stories be good as fuck, man. That's my new shit I'll be watching on YouTube is FBI files like a motherfucker. I'll be like, damn, man, but it just shows you what kind of piece of shit people are, man. I was looking at this one with this girl named Lindsay. No, her name Lisa Renee. The story on Lisa Renee. That shit is so fucked up, y'all. Lisa Renee FBI file story, man. These niggas is fucked up. And then I hate with this the fact plea deals is offered to motherfuckers a snitch that two of the people involved in the girl's murder is out free now. One nigga got the death penalty, another motherfucker serving life, but two other motherfuckers who was involved in this shit are free because they took a deal to snitch. I hate that kind of shit. Stop letting niggas snitch. They deserve the same sentence as everybody else. But that FBI file shit been good as fuck, yo. That's just my little plug on what kind of dope shit I be watching. Ismek says, I was about to go out there, says with Cal, says, and come back tomorrow. Says, so glad I saved my time and money, man. Damn, do a turnaround trip for that. And then, the other reason why you shouldn't came out here is because the traffic is fucked up. You wouldn't enjoyed your experience out here. That F1 shit got everything fucked up. F1 got everything fucked up. Maybe that monorail shit is gonna be in full swing this weekend, but getting the car and driving, you can't move around this city. And then it's about to rain and shit. It's been drizzling. But yeah, that's another reason you should be glad you can come. Shadow Band says Shakur says it's gonna go right. And Bun says and go. What's that? Was that misprint? I don't know what word that's supposed to be. And then Jannar says, do you have Shakur versus Haney? Says about an even fight. Now after Shakur, my opinions don't change nothing on that fight because of his performance. I think him and Devin is a fucking highly contested matchup. And now y'all counting Shakur out. Shakur going that fight and do the Devin what Terrence did to Earl Spence and that shit. And then now what would it be? Like, y'all can't discount a nigga y'all know that can fight for this performance against this dude. Y'all tripping. And then Shakur says he's going to fight a bum ASAP. Now, Shakur, I can't believe this fool let this fight performance get to him. And I can't believe Shakur said that shit, y'all. That's the shit that bugged me. I ain't knocking his performance. Performance is what I thought he should have fought. Jab, jab, jab. Should have threw more of them, though. Should have controlled the distance like he did, but to make the excuse that you wasn't feeling good is bullshit. That is bullshit. But in a second before he said that, you didn't give a fuck. And then Jerron Jones says, Shakur says hit ladies and punches men, says who don't box and run. And it's Roland Curtis. Hey, Roland Curtis says, I was giving Shakur props for whooping them people ass. So I ain't got nothing against Shakur whooping those people ass. And then Roland Curtis says, Shakur said he doesn't care, says, and shrugged his shoulders. Now he sounds like the real big baby Jared Anderson. So instead of Shakur says rubbing off on Jared Anderson, it's the other way around. And then he's supposed to be a mentor towards other younger fighters. Like, you can't be talking like that, homie. Roland Curtis says the crowd boos, says from the opening bell says to the closing bell says, and then they boo Shakur the whole post-fight interview. They wasn't really booing him like that. They was starting to boo, but they really opened up on those boos when that nigga said he didn't care. And he didn't know how to control that shit. Mir says, okay, says oh my fucking goodness. Says, you niggas are stupid as hell with this black and Rican shit. Yeah, they get that shit from these LWC retard motherfuckers. And they hear 78 of them complain because the niggas say Puerto Rican. BFTB complain he Puerto Rican. Drew, and then the rest of these niggas fall in line with that dumb shit. Like, them niggas on here is dumb, man. Jerron says he's mob ties. Lassie Cuss says Shakur says gonna say he under a lot of pressure, says from supporting all his fan members. Says nigga gonna be crying in the ring like Danny Garcia. But one thing with that comment, it could fuck his money up too. You gotta be careful with that shit. KG says Shakur Rivera says on Suicide Watch. No, I ain't that far. Ron Carter says Shakur says was sitting on that couch, says with his arms folded, says like a real big baby, man. Yeah, he was over there pouting and shit. Jay Dixon says, hell, Shakur could have even said that he wants to rematch Edwin, says the show that he's better than that, says, and gave motherfuckers some kind of positive thing to look forward to. Absolutely, Jay Dixon. Don Zeeby says, Dev at 140 says, y'all need to stop mentioning him with 135 fighters. Stop trying to just protect these people. These people say something, says, and his dad says might be high for allowing him to fight Loma at 135, says he looked drained. He did his thing against Loma. I think Dev did his thing against Loma. But Dev had to deal with people's comments on that. And Shakur's another motherfucker that ran his mouth about that shit. Shakur got to start learning to shut up about other people's performances. And that's why I'm glad this shit turned out like this lightweight for Shakur. I'm kind of glad this shit turned out for Shakur like that. And I'm not really mad about none of this shit. I thought his comments were stupid. And I'm glad he getting bit in the ass. He needs to start shutting it up. Stop having such hater ass criticisms about other people's performances, or you think they lost the fight and this and that. And this is just karma coming back to hunt Shakur. It's karma. My cousin Du says still 70 games left in the season, homie. Says niggas love to hate on the Clippers. Oh my God. I ain't seen that video yet. You said, yeah, that video, I couldn't get that shit to open. You talking about the Clippers giving back to the hood and shit. Jay Dixon says Brian Norman needs a trainer ASAP for real, bro. Says I'm gonna watch. Says I'm gonna watch every damn fight. Says that I can't. Yeah, he definitely get away from his father. His father's instructions was retarded as fuck. This kid couldn't make adjustments, get things going. He's been fighting opponents. He's been able to walk through or whatnot, and he just dealt with a guy who just put a little bit of boxing on him. He couldn't figure this shit out. And his father wasn't telling him what to do. KG says Tank says got an iron chin. I want to see Tank fight some guys, but Tank taking his time to get back to it. Don Zeeby says Shakur might as well fight next Thursday, says since he didn't do shit tonight. And Jannar says Tank says had a better performance versus Pitbull says when his hand was broken, says Tank controlled the entire fight. Well, some people survive with one hand. We watched Gary Russell Jr. survive against that Filipino dude with one hand too. And then King Age Matt says Vargas' fight was 100%. And then Lars Cuss says LA Slippers says starters should be playing for the Cube's Big Three League. Don Zeeby says I'm not embarrassed about my heritage. Says I'm African. Husana Falani says, and you can trace my lineage going back thousands of years to the Fulani Empire. But a lot of that ancient shit y'all be looking into and think that shit means shit. Shit don't mean two bits of shit. I don't even know why niggas go searching for old shit. And now you hear niggas back in the day always talking about, well, you ain't got a language, then we don't know this. That shit don't mean two bits of shit. Your heritage and your ancestry ain't got no internet teaching to it, ain't got no car manufacturing teaching to it. It ain't got no aviation created to it. All that bullshit don't mean 2 bits of shit. None of that shit. It is about what you today. All that shit used to be kings, which is the biggest lie niggas tell each other, make themselves feel good and shit. What does it mean? What the fuck are you producing? What production you in this world? What can you teach kids to advance them in this world revolving and advancing around us? Like, politically, we got to control it, control the idiotic economic shit, because we got the retards of wealthy kids running the fucking country and shit economically and fucking everything up. Everything's out of balance and shit. That's going to be my next stream, about the fucking condition of America, economic balance. And I will put, because we got too many of the fucking rich, stupid ass children running shit that other poor people vote these stupid motherfuckers in all the time. Thomas Harris says to myself in the chat, says this nigga new name is Rumpelstiltskin, says Z's. And the Velocity Cut says, can we get the likes up? Says to 9 hundo, says can we refresh the super chat? Man, I was listening to the Blue Blood the other day, and that nigga really be getting mad because niggas don't refresh the super chat with $1 and shit. I'm like, man, what's up with this dude, man? What's up with our folks, man? What's up with the people on this shit? What's up with the people on here? Like, you really forcing niggas to super chat? This shit don't reset shit. There ain't no resetting the super chat. But let me stop saying that shit, because this shit work for it. It's just fuck it. Let people be retards, man. Fuck that. Let me shut the fuck up on that. And it says UK, says Don ZB, says I got a few friends says that are Husani says Husa, I guess I'll say, and Fulani says here in the UK. And then Roland Curtis says Shakur knows the sport well, says, but he has to remember that he's in the entertainment business too. True. Says none of the boxing media outlets are talking about the fight itself. Says they are only talking about the booze. Absolutely. And Shakur better keep himself away from reading any media. He better stay off of social media. That lady, that chick he with, she better keep the poo nanny in his face. She better throw him off. That's the real test of a good woman and shit. Keep a motherfucking mind away from the shit. Keep his mind occupied and away from the social media. Because you're young, stupid motherfucker. You'll lose his shit reading comments and shit, going back and forth. Don ZB says, yeah, says most of us go to the Middle East. Says I barely run into any in the US. And then it says Sid UK. And Thomas Harris says, King Porter's right hand says, God told me that this fight sucked. And then Don ZB says, I watched all the FBI files in the early 2000s. Says, and I feel like I have seen all of it. Says I don't underestimate anybody. Man, I've been watching this shit recently, man, but it just really showed how punk ass, all the crime shows I watch, or just even being around people that commit crime. A lot of people just punk ass people and do some real foul shit. And the do sign and ain't nothing gangster. That's why I don't cry when I be hearing about niggas talking about people, this person snitch and that person. They should snitch on you motherfuckers. You niggas deserve to be snitched on. You motherfuckers are idiots, man. And in Deuce Time says y'all so ready to throw a nigga away. Says boxing fans. Hey, thank you, cuz I told you about these boxing fans. Tell you about these boxing fans. Boxing fans are really idiots, bro. Boxing fans suck. Says I'm about to go listen to Andre 3000 Flute album. And I seen something earlier about Andre 3000 where he really speaking the truth about people be still wondering when he gonna rap. And they like, man, I'm down there 50 years old. I ain't got shit to say and rap. Says UK, says can't blame Shakur. Says he's young. Says and his style is more boxing. Says than knocking people out. Styles make fights. The real loser is Frank Martin, who turned down $1 million. He says who turned $1 million down, and he would have been outboxed too. Yeah, Shakur would have outboxed him, but he would have made $1 million. Don Zivi says, if I'm Devin's manager, says what is that? Says not, I will not give Shakur that fight. Says until Devin is coming back, says it's coming back from 2 losses. Nah. KG says that South Carolina panhandler says it's salivating. Oh, about Shakur losing, so he can run with what his handlers tell him. And then the boxing historian says 78 Dad says it's from Cuba. Says he's mad that Shakur acknowledges he has Rican heritage. Is that some real shit? How y'all be knowing everybody like this and shit? I be believing y'all because y'all be having info on people. Y'all probably know about me and shit. Thomas, but I'm an open book. I don't hide shit about me. That's why I can't be trolled. Niggas can't troll me. People can't get to me. Like ain't no trolling me. And Thomas Harris says Prince is colder than Michael Jackson says, and my boy Zaire Raheem says would it be Pacquiao after he beat up Eric Morales? Says that's why Pac ducked him. Says and fought the loser. Says and Shakur fought like a pickle. Are you Zaire Raheem? No. What's that dude? Panama Poppy? Is that who Thomas Harris is? That's that Panama Poppy comics used to write in '78 chat and shit. And the boxing historian says shaking my head. KG says South Carolina LWC panhandler is salivating. Says while taking care of another man's child and paying his dues to the general. Yeah, that's cold, man. Y'all, how y'all be knowing all this shit about motherfuckers, man? That nigga straight stepdaddy in this mug. Ain't nothing wrong with stepdads, but that nigga only a stepdad. Roland Curtis says blood boxing went live. Says when Blood says that this Shakur fight was one of the worst fights that he has ever seen in a main event, says that speaks volumes because Blood makes historical boxing documentaries. Yeah, that could be bad. That could be a bad look, but you know they be wanting, but the OGs be wanting to see knockouts and fighters go at it and this and that. But sometimes you got to fight a smart fight. They just don't like that kind of style. And KG says we was kings and shit. Yeah, people, we was kings. I see old black people say that shit. And I walk away from it. I don't want to hear that king shit. Everybody wasn't kings. And ain't that many kings in a fucking kingdom. It was one king. The rest of the niggas was slaves. Stop that king shit. So what is a king in today's modern society if the nigga can't fucking read a book? Nobody want to hear that king shit. Get the fuck out of teaching that shit. I don't teach my kids. There was none of that shit. I tell them they are who they are today. And all they have to do is develop who they are and become something in life. You can talk all this shit. You living under my lineage and you represent my legacy. You ain't got none. Your legacy is yours. My job is to make you achieve that shit. And I mean, they just be killing me with this repetitive shit nobody thinks out because they follow people so much. And then Tony Touch says facts. And then Thomas Harris says that Don says rubber steel skin says we still be sleep next Thursday. And my cousin Deuce Time says it was a video of Russell Westbrook at Jesse Owens Park making a new court and handing out turkeys. Oh man, that's what's up, man. Cause there's a photo back when Russell was playing park ball. He with the homie Deron brother and shit, and seeing them play together. So I wonder if Russell played at Jesse Owens and shit. I wonder if he played him, but it's crazy to see what Russell did on NBA court. Because I remember when I went to Russell graduation party at his house in Compton and shit, and my boys who I guess they know him and shit, they was like, yeah, this the because everybody called me they big bro from off the block. They was like, yeah, it's my big boy Red. This Russell, man. He going to UCLA, man. He gonna be he used to be the next top thing. They talking about when he's a kid and everybody thought he's gonna go to the league because I guess he's dominant in Pop Warner and shit. And I never heard of nothing from Luzinger, so I ain't seen him in high school, but they're saying gonna be this and that. And first time I seen that nigga in the UCLA game, I say, damn, this fool this fucking fast. Like, I was like, damn, did he run track or some shit? I was like, damn. And then the league, he's still doing that shit. But I was tripped to see that this is what that guy became. He really became something in the league. Like, that's some cool shit. And Avante says, were you watching FBI files on Peacock Paramount? No, YouTube got that shit. YouTube got that shit. Now I'm watching this shit like a mother because I used to always ignore that shit. Cause look, but I'll be looking at these cases like this shit is cold-blooded, man. Cold-blooded. And I like how the FBI catches these stupid motherfuckers. Tony Touch says YouTube, Avante. Yeah, it's a YouTube. And then Kenny Porter's right hand says, I remember the crime show Mastermind says I used to watch it all the time. Man, I used to be watching that Snap shit. Man, that Snap shit had me where nigga, I was at one point watching Snap. And I remember getting into it with my kid's mom where she's getting mad at some shit and snapping and wanted to cook some shit. I look like, who eating that shit? And that's from that point, nigga, when she makes sure I wouldn't eat that shit. On some real shit. And even to this day, people can't give me shit. Them bitches be feeding niggas. That's like it was a bitch this year. They caught pouring some shit in her husband coffee. It was a scientist bitch pouring some shit in the husband coffee. They had a bitch put antifreeze or some shit where I said it give off like certain kind of taste, but she was putting that shit in this shit and killing this nigga. I don't take nothing from nobody. Fuck that shit. I don't want shit unless I see a motherfucker eat it. Remember how Martin, when he signed a life insurance with Gina, and Gina, he waited for Gina to walk out and he swapped the plates. Like, I'm that type of motherfucker. I don't want shit for nobody. I don't like no chick serving me. I don't want no chick going in the kitchen, bringing me a plate. Nah, fuck that shit. Yeah, make your plate. Let me watch you eat that shit. Okay, I'll get my own. Or fuck that. Oh, you don't like people in your kitchen. Okay, well, so you're going to sit down here. Don't be looking at sitting there wanting to watch a person eat to see how they react to your food. I'll be thinking I take a bite and be, bitch got me chained up, feet tied to each end of a bedpost, and she got a chainsaw in her hand by the time I fuck that shit. No. I ain't doing none of that shit. I ate already. I ain't hungry. That's how I am, man. I think them crime shows, that Snap shit, really did that shit. Them bitches on that shit crazy. A bitch get mad at you and she like, well, fuck it. I'm going to use the power of this PUSSY. I'm going to give it to this sucking motherfucker. Make him fall in love and tell him you've been beating on me and shit. Now he ready to kill you. That's a lot of bitches do that shit. Fuck that shit. I'm good on that shit. Ron Curtis says the Blue Blood says getting angry, says about grown men not refreshing the super chat. That YouTube says is letting him use, says then he's only one step away from making his subscriber pay monthly dues. Facts, bro. I see that shit coming around next. Y'all niggas need to pay dues. I'm giving you all this inside source shit. KG says the average IQ of a YouTube boxing channel member is around 65 to 75. That's facts. I think these niggas do got low IQs, bro. Says niggas are dumb in this community. I agree with that shit, KG. A lot of these motherfuckers are extremely stupid. And then Tony Touch says, I be watching Forensic Files like a motherfucker too. On this, the Vizio got this free like watch TV shit. When I ain't watching none of the other apps or YouTube, I go to Vizio Watch TV because they got all day Forensic Files play. I'll be watching the fuck out of that too. And I love the DNA shit that they be catching these stupid motherfuckers. I love when they catch a dumbass criminal killing motherfuckers over stupid shit. You a dope fiend, nigga. Take your ass to the woods and just be out there by yourself. Stab the dirt, motherfucker. Be stabbing people and fucking pieces of shit. Tony Tutt says, I watch all the Forensic Files. Says Explore With Us is another good channel. Explore With Us. I'm like, wait, have I seen that shit? Hold on, let me check the Explore With Us. I think, let me see. Explore. Because there's some people on here that do good shows of like old crime shit. Let me see, have I seen this Explore With Us shit? They got large channels. Let me see. No, I don't think I've seen one. Maybe I have seen one of the interrogations on this Explore With Us. So they do interrogations on people. I know I had to see one interrogation. I think I've seen the one where the guy, I think this is the channel where the guy, this kid killed his mother. I think cut her head off and then was putting his shit in his mother's mouth. Having oral sex with his mother's head, then having sex with her dead body and shit, and then discarded. I watched that one. I think was from this Explore With Us shit. It's some motherfuckers are sick, man. I know. Says the boxing historian says I used to speak to 78. Says years before this LWC shit, and then but yeah, they I seen a lot of the changes with a lot of these cats on this shit. Phil Bay says so. Dude says fuck your city, homie. Says now what? Thomas Harris says stepdaddy. And then Philip Bay says, and you better not leave Reggie live, little Deuce. And then Thomas Harris and Roland says hope says no, Klitschko versus Fury says was the worst main event fight ever. Tony Touch says Burger Kings. But what's Burger Kings? Are you at the regular Burger Kings? Deuce Time says PA says what's your deal? Banana peel. And Phil Bay said he laughing out loud, Deuce. And they Thomas Harris, KG says, nah, bro, says there's some cool guys over there too. Says I'm cool with the LWC, says, and the other guys, says even Fred says Ellie says a dummy, says, and others says them says they're dum-dums everywhere. Yeah, the YouTube is full of fucking stupid motherfuckers. YouTube full of that shit. And on this boxing shit, the boxing motherfuckers, boxing dudes, the fans of this on YouTube, I think half these niggas get punched when they watching fights. And then Philip A says, ain't shit, dude. Says, working home. He says, how you doing, Brody? And Tony Touch says, I saw one where the mother poisoned the daughter, says, and father with antifreeze. Crazy as fuck. Yeah. Man, I don't be taking shit from nobody, man. I don't like people serving me at all. And even if you bring me a plate for a holiday, which I tend not want to go, I want to watch everybody eat. Before I ever take a bite, I'll be watching where that shit coming out that kitchen. You may say I can be looking at TV and be the whole time. I look like I'm looking at TV the whole time. I'm looking in the kitchen. What the fuck they doing? Okay, let's see. All right, bring that shit. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna take my time to eat this shit. Yeah, I'm not ready to eat it yet. You gonna take a bite of that shit first? Let me look over there. See that motherfucker got a plate at the same time he eating that shit. Okay. All right, let's see. Hey, how about you take a bite, man? I don't fuck with people, man. People ain't shit, man. Give a fuck who they are. This time says I'm trying to get through this week. Says of work, says next week, says trying to find a lawyer, trying to sue somebody. Tony Touch says daughter survived. And then it be people, I'll be like, damn, what drive people minds to this insanity shit? Don ZB says, since your niggas want to talk shit, says I'm telling on everybody, says can't wait to hear what the general gonna say after I send these screenshots of the chat. And then Phil Bay says look them up, says by they rep Deuce. And then KG says it took me 2 hours, says to discover everything about Trill Will. Says I was on my FBI shit, man. Yeah, y'all be knowing everything about all these motherfuckers, man. Y'all must be private. What's some private investigators and shit? Philip A says, man, since this week have been long as fuck. Ron Curtis says, yeah, says I see what you mean. Says OGs like Blood, says saw the greats like Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, and Duran, says live in their prime. Says so the OGs says are used to seeing all out war. Yeah, that's what they be wanting. Says, but sadly, those wars led to brain damage. Yeah, a lot of these guys, because of the trainers, teach them to fight smarter. They don't teach them to fight in that old style anymore. And Deuce Time says, I think Don ZB says is a chromatic slop-headed caveman, says with a childish sense of humor, says who probably should be institutionalized. Philip A says I would search the top lawyer's record, Deuce says, and if he's too much, says see if he can send you to another attorney, says within the range, says you want. Says okay, good advice. And then Philip A says yes, says no doubt, says had to do it myself 20 years ago. And then Tony Tuss says I never saw that one. Says fuck yeah, it's the watch. Y'all can type that in, man. Where it's a black kid too. He's I don't know, he's a mixed race kid or just one of them light skinned kids, man. He was in the interview room. That nigga, I forget how he stabbed his mother or something. He was fucking getting head from his dead mother and shit, having sex with her, and then he beheaded her and shit. And that shit was like not too long ago. That's some shit like in the maybe 2015s or maybe even been during COVID and shit. And Philip A says, yeah, says you got to be careful, says with humans for real. Yeah, motherfuckers is, you don't know what's in a nigga mind, or that motherfucker be people smoking so much drugs and shit, and then they snap, man, you having to kill motherfuckers you cool with because they minds is fucked up. Deuce Time says, be worried about getting poisoned, says like Bumpy Johnson. That happened to Bumpy Johnson? Did Bumpy Johnson have a heart attack? Bumpy Johnson to get poisoned. Let me check Bumpy Johnson death. Bumpy Johnson. No, I think Bumpy Johnson had a heart attack when he died. Let me clarify that. Let's see if somebody poisoned him. But Bumpy Johnson probably had a lot of enemies. Says Johnson was on the federal indictment for drug conspiracy when he died. Congestive heart failure. He died from heart failure, and it was in the 68s, and 62 is pretty old for back in that days. Well, he was born in 1905. Yeah, a lot of black motherfuckers died back then. They eat all that fucking fried food with lard. Y'all ever seen that lard shit? People old enough to remember lard? Y'all old enough from in the chat remember lard? That shit, I used to think lard was some magical shit. Be like, damn, you cooking that shit be all white, clumpy, thick ass shit, and then you heat it up and that shit turn liquid like a motherfucker. Imagine what that shit do on the inside. Kenny Porter's right hand says, see, says if you were a king like me, so then you would have someone taste your food to see if it is poison. Says like my king ancestors used to. Man, now I watch motherfuckers play because you got to be inconspicuous when you know that you watching what a motherfucker really doing. And sometimes with restaurants, I don't like restaurants get down because you can't see what's going on in the back. You walk in the restaurant, they like, oh, one of these black motherfuckers in here. How dare they come in this establishment? They like, I don't be really fucking with that shit. That's why I don't do too much going out to eat type shit. That's why I like and then being on the shit, a chick that know how to cook her, but I'm gonna still watch her fucking ass in the deuce time. But I know how to cook too, so I don't really rely on a chick having to cook for me. And the deuce time says, Rez thinks the government is good for us, but thinks people are trying to poison him. Deuce, who is doing more harm to people, the government or these stupid ass people? Y'all conspiracy theories niggas are ass backwards ass people. People do all this shit. I need my Second Amendment gun because of the government may come and take my gun. No, you shooting another motherfucking fool that you can't trust, not the government. You niggas is ass backwards psychopaths. I ain't seen one nigga needing to shoot a government motherfucker much as they shoot other motherfuckers. And Don ZB says, Deuce time an idiot. Says Bumpy wasn't poisoned. Says, and we ain't talking about no movie, clown. Deuce says, nah, so they try to poison Bumpy. Who tried to poison Bumpy? The nigga was old. The nigga died of a heart attack. What do you think he's supposed to live 100 fucking years? Y'all niggas with these conspiracies, cause you gotta break out of that conspiracy shit. King Poy's right hand says, Deuce says Deuce, that main character Reggie for you, man. No, that's my relative, man. Or my cousin. He don't like saying cousin because he on that blood shit. And the Deuce time says, but Bumpy says was thinking 3 steps ahead of them. Says who? How was he thinking 3 steps? Anybody's a thug during the height of that police era. Like if he was born now with all this investigative shit, they'd have been took him down. Anybody kill that motherfucker. And the Don ZB says that's what the portrayed in the movie Dumb Dumb. And then KG says you need to get back on that investigative FBI shit. Says I like how you covered that Brian Kohlberg case last year. Yeah, I do. We want to do more of these cases because there's so many other cases coming out on a lot of that shit. But this FBI file shit got me really intrigued. I've been really locked into this FBI file shit. But I watched the one earlier on that girl Lisa. It's on YouTube. One, it's called the best of season 4. Triple episode, the FBI files, and they did a story about this girl. Man, that shit broke my heart, man, of how fucked up these niggas is. And then I had to look at what happened in their case. 2 of these bitch-made motherfuckers is free. They got 25 years. No, them niggas should have died like the other motherfucker. They wouldn't tell the police where she was at. These niggas tortured this girl, but it was fucked up. Her brothers did some fuck shit by robbing. These brothers get caught up in some legal shit. They run the dude they knew. This is how foul people are. The brothers take $9,000 where they're supposed to purchase some drugs for a cat they knew. They run out on the dude. Dude find out where they live at, ran the house, fake like the FBI when the sister on the phone with 911 because she hear banging on her door. These fools bust through the window, come in there and get her. You hear her screaming on a 911 call. She disappeared. The brothers won't give up the information. So they up there torture this girl. They raped her for like over 2 or 3 days. Then they take her out to where they dug a ditch. Man, they dig a ditch like out in the middle of nowhere. They was gonna never find this girl until the more start opening up about the story. Like the brothers drug dealing, the brothers' actions and doing this whole shit got their sister killed, and they wasn't even willing to try to speak on what was going down because they could have saved the girl. These niggas dug a real 6-foot deep hole, bashed this girl head with a shovel because once the girl was being walked out to this field. She see it's a hole prepared for her, 6 feet deep. And she tried to get away. The fool swung the shovel at her, hit her in the head, threw her down in that shit. They buried that girl alive. Shit was foul over some shit her punk ass brothers did. That shit was fucked up. And Don ZB said, and then they give the audacity to let niggas snitch and give them plea deals. Don ZB says, doesn't mean it really happened. Talking about the Deuce. And the Philip says, you just as wild with that you just as wild with that poison conspiracy, bro. No, it ain't no conspiracy. My shit is what I don't trust from a motherfucker. I ain't about to give nobody none of that shit. My shit is a preventive measure, man. I don't give a fuck. Because people get mad at shit. People be wanting you. I'm not a nigga that follow along with what people want. I'm too free thinking. I think on my own. People like to dominate, want to rule and control. I'm not a motherfucker to be controlled by shit. And that's the thing, and that's what you see on across the board on everything. People love to command people. And that's the problem with people. People want to command motherfuckers. Nah, it ain't no conspiracy. My shit prevention. I don't nah, fuck all that shit. I don't trust people. And then Deuce Time says there was many attempts on Bumpy's life. Of course there was attempts on Bumpy's life. What was Bumpy involved in, bro? Criminal shit, hustling. Like, man, you crazy thinking that it's the government. Those are regular motherfuckers who put attempts on his life. And also, don't forget, that's an area of a lot of crooked cops. New York, ain't he from New York? So stop the conspiracy shit, all this government talk. When the biggest threat to niggas ain't the government, it's other motherfuckers. And Thomas Harris says, Shakur says, cry like a biatch after the Olympic loss, says Antonite says, but he's a tough guy, says that talks trash, but he's an says an infinite male and the mentally weak, man. And says UK says, how is America land? Says land of the free, says the home of the brave, when half the population can't sleep without a firearm. Right. Half the motherfuckers want. That's why I'm not with gun talk. I ain't with none of that gun shit. This world pieces. People pussy, man. But like you say, everybody afraid of everybody and shit. And sometimes you need the firearms to protect yourself because so many people are lost. Are really lost in this world, especially older people gonna need it because you got half of these uncontrolled, untamed ass young motherfuckers. Do say so. I didn't say he died from poison. I said they tried to poison him. Yeah, his foes could have tried to poison him. He eating at them restaurants and shit, eating in them diners and all that shit. And Don ZB says because they acted that and hoodlum. And then Jim 82 says that was so sad. With that girl, the Lisa Renee story, the FBI file story I was talking about, that shit was fucked up, man. That shit was real fucked up, man. And I wish that none of them dudes would be out. And then to think that a motherfucker's out here walking free. How these two niggas walking around here free? That seemed like the Alpo shit. That Alpo always resort back to how the fuck was he ever walking free? Because he snitched? Because y'all opened the option to let niggas snitch? What motherfucker ain't gonna turn that shit down? He facing murder. And Don ZB says Deuce Time. Same thing with Keefy D, snitching and shit. And Don ZB says, Deuce Time says, did you read the movie disclaimer? And then Philip A says, okay, says who poisoned you? Says Mr. Freethinker. Says, even in your life. Man, I've known people that fucking been poisoned. That die from fucking foul shit or had foul shit done to them, bro. I'm a South Central kid. A lot of this shit is impacting on why I don't run around acting scared, but I do put up to where I ain't about to trust you. I ain't gonna ask you to buy me no food. Bring me some food back here. Go bring me this. Oh, you hungry? No, I'm gonna get my own shit. I don't do no DoorDash shit. I don't do no stupid ass shit like that. Then you look on videos, DoorDash niggas eating your. I don't do none of that shit. Halfway trust going into places, buying food out they shit. And the Deuce Time says, Sis UK says America was founded on a revolution. Says instead of living in subjugation, says under the Queen's whims. Man, that idiotic shit, because they went into being just like the king and queen and shit. And look at all these taxes they got. Talking about they got away from the king and them taxes. Says UK says watch Gordon Ramsay, says kitchen nightmare. I don't like that stupid shit. So some American restaurants are beyond nasty. So yeah, they are nasty with out-of-date food served. Says capitalism over the top is crazy. Yeah, but it do be nasty, but you gotta. Yeah, I'd be leery. That's why I ain't into dining out all the time. Sometimes I'd be mad after I spend some money or some shit. Get all these high-priced restaurants trying to match price of other places, and they know damn well they food should be dollar menu. And Deuce Time laughing out loud says, so the crooked cop says isn't the government? No, some crooked cops is just employed. The way y'all view government is people in higher levels, homie. Y'all CIA type shit. Have these cops just rogue people who get caught up in the regular community shit. Is there foul FBI agents? Yeah, you get them. And the Deuce Time says, I heard they put poison in Rasputin's rhyme. Who is this Rasputin motherfucker y'all keep talking about? Says UK, the Deuce says I ain't hating on the public of USA Rather, the culture is idiotic. So revolution or not. So the government is owned by corporations and the people don't mean nothing. No, when we had the wrong people representing us, then yeah, that flips that way. Don ZB says, Deuce, take your dumb ass. LDBC says, not making sense ass to bed, kid. Phil Bay says, I feel you though. Red says, I don't eat, says, or drink nothing I don't see made, or I made myself. Yeah, that's how I am on that shit. I'm like, I ain't with that kind of shit. I only like my kids taking shit from other people. Like, that's why I ain't with this shit. Don't give them candy type shit that you hear all these old retarded food watching ass parents be on, then wonder why a stranger can lure their kid with candy and all type of retarded shit because you feeding them broccoli sickles and all this other stupid shit that not letting the kid enjoy themselves. And then Deuce Time says Uber Eats and DoorDash is the wild way to live. Yeah, that shit way out that niggas create a business for fat, lazy fucks of America to sit on their video games because they too lazy to get out to go buy food and tell some other motherfucker, can you bring my food to me? I don't know you. Don't know what you're going to do with my food on this drive here. Like, that shit is crazy. Says UK says originally says taxes were only used to pay for war. Says, but the politician says got a taste and never stop. Nah, that ain't what taxes for. Taxes are meant to fucking meant for the fucking rich to get rich, mainly kings and queens. Deuce Time says somebody should block Don ZB says he gay. Man, I ain't blocking nobody on my channel. Don ZB says, well, says this ain't the LWC channel, so we don't block over here. Facts. Deuce Time says I barely would let somebody deliver me a pizza, man. Yeah, even with the pizza shit, I stopped doing that. That's some other shit. Was a piece of shit. But I don't even be doing that shit. I don't be trusting them delivery people, and then them bitches get mad, be wanting tips and shit. Ain't about to tip you to drive this motherfucker over and charge it. Like, I don't do that shit. I go buy my own pizza. Even I tell my kids don't be wanting to leave. Nah, we getting our asses in a car and we gonna go pick that shit up. Like, fuck that shit. But I forget, before DoorDash, niggas was doing the pizza delivery shit. Ain't that some hypocritical ass shit? I didn't realize how stupid I was saying that shit. Forgot about the pizza delivery shit. But be like, well, pizza delivery is different. No, it's the same shit. But fuck that. I don't do it no more. I go buy my shit. And then it says Rasputin was a Russian love machine. Oh, is that black, crazy, weird looking motherfucker? What's his name? His name is, what's the black dude says? What's that black name? He be looking high doing all these weird dances. What's his name? His name was Bossy something. Wait, what's that shit? Wait, hold on. I'll figure out this fool name. That's that black dude be looking funny as fuck. Wait, hold on. Here he go. This fool named Boney M. That's his name. Boney M. Well, let me check out who Boney is. That nigga had to be on cocaine or some shit. Oh, that's his name. His name Boney M. That sings that shit. A black cat. He had to be on fucking dope. Let me see. What's the history on this fool? This thing's still alive. Says Boney M says a German vocal. Says a German vocal group says that specialize in disco and funk. Damn, these fools from Germany. Oh, they was the niggas that Trump, Hitler tried to have castrated and shit when he was over there. So these fools out of Germany. Let me see. This fool's still living. Let me see the head dude name. That name. Don't tell me the head dude name is Reggie. Let me see. All right, this is his name, Bobby. Yeah, that's his name. So the head dude name is Bobby Farrell. He died in 2010. Let me look his story. He had to be on dope. It says, was born and raised on the islands of Aruba, says in the Dutch colony of Curaçao and dependencies. Let me see. What is this fool life like? Let's see. Later years, Farrell lived many years in Amsterdam. Oh, yeah, look, he in Amsterdam. Yeah, I know this nigga. The way he be looking in videos, he had to be where dope is fucking legal. So he lived many years in Amsterdam, in the neighborhood of Gasperdam, says in the borough of Amsterdam, Zoidas. How you say that shit? Let me see. They ain't gonna say about it. It says it's discovered in a hotel. Oh, it says this how he died. Farrell's body was discovered by hotel staff after he failed to respond to an alarm call. Coincidentally, he died on the same day in the same city as Gregorio Rasputin. Oh, he died in the same place the nigga he wrote the song about. Says the subject of one of his most of the group's most iconic song. Ain't that some shit? And who he had dressed as in some live performances. Ain't that some ironic shit? It says he's buried in where I can't pronounce these names, these European place. His daughter is Zanilia Farrow, says is a rapper. So she won the national. Oh, they from over there and shit. So he got a daughter who's a rapper from over there. So they don't say about he was definitely on dope, even though they didn't speak about that. Because the way he used to act in the performances, that and they was really on one. So the group is called Boney, and his name was Bobby Farrow. That fool look gone with his videos. KG, that nigga's crazy. I'll be laughing my ass off when I watch Boney M in them performances. And the KG said, damn, says, I'm scared of getting food poisoning, man. Oh, have you ever had food poisoning? Have you ever had food poisoning? Oh, my God. That shit fucks you up. I remember I had that shit twice with my bitches, nigga. I shit in the bed. I shitted on myself with my bitch from having food poisoning. I thought I was dying. Now I'll be in the room in agony from that shit, man. Food poisoning is close to dying. So I can imagine what real poisoning is. And that's when you eat some fucked up food. And the one time I got food poisoning was when they had this shit out here called Imperial Palace. And I'll come out to Vegas with me and that chick who I was telling wanted to punch me in my shit. My mom used to like her. So we come to Vegas with her. And she used to like going to a buffet. We go to a buffet at the Imperial Palace. The food looked like these fools didn't keep shit at the right temperature. The food looked half-assed, and I'm looking at the shit, being picky with shit. Like, I ain't gonna eat. Then I just ate something because we leaving. Ate this shit and was fucked up, man. As soon as we get home, I felt sick. And I remember shitting in the bed, too. That's when you know a chick really dig you, man, when she ain't even tripping on that shit. But I shit in the bed. I shit twice around that girl. And she just fucked. The chicks be liking me, man. She ain't even trip. But I mean, that food poison made me shit on myself. And Phil Bates says, I watch him bake my pizza tonight. Yeah, man. I'll be like, man, I'm leery on food and shit. And are people who work in the fast food restaurants and shit. At least in like Papa John's, they ain't got machines blocking shit. You can see them working. Even Marco's Pizza, I like that shit because you can see them cooking your shit. And that way, even if you ain't there, you know that if there's other customers in it, they ain't doing no way out shit. Philip A says, put my order in and stood at the counter, says talking to folks. Yeah, you be having to watch people nowadays, especially in the low-wage jobs where the employees don't be giving a fuck, a bunch of Shakur Stevenson niggas about your food. I don't care. This time says, I hate going to taco truck, says when they don't wear gloves, says I'm leaving immediately. Oh, and they ain't got the proper cleaning stations. That's why I don't really eat food, that street food shit. Cause I'll be mindful of like sanitation and keeping shit clean. Oh, where y'all be washing your hands at? Damn, y'all touching raw food? Where you cleaning? Oh, you ain't doing none of this? You ain't got, oh nah, all right. Bam. I'm out. Fuck that shit. I know the food be good, but fuck that. That food poisoning shit, man. I'm too old to be shitting on myself again. This time says, yeah, says that's him, really. Yeah, that black motherfucker from Boney M. Them fools crazy. Says that nigga was unstoppable. Says that nigga said look like Willie Jones from Friday. Yeah, that fool from Boney M. That fool, that Rasputin shit. That fool was on some dope. And then Philip A says, Rez the Mo. Both of them dudes says what says the Merc. Both of them dudes says wet work military spook at by the door ridge. Says the killer says that loves no host. Says if they punch your card, says you gotta the real CIA killer, bro. Damn, Phil Bates, your writing be all the way fucked up. I ain't get none of that shit, and you applied a lot of writing to it. Thomas in there rolling. Don Zibi says Fight Hub says posted a post-fight interview with Shakur. Says he was born as well. Says so I came back and here. And then Philip A says you gotta go. Wait, I'm lost on Philip A's comments. And Don Zibi says, hey, he said, where was John Fury today? Says he couldn't show his face to the press conference today. Ain't no telling where that old cat at. He probably need to go see his therapist or some shit. KG says, nah, I'll get it. Says I order from those Asian and Hispanic restaurants. And sometimes you gotta watch the Asian spots because they be dirty as fuck in the back. You notice you never see the kitchen in a lot of them Chinese food. You know the food be good, but them fools don't store food properly and shit. Them fools ain't the most sanitary people and shit. No, they be doing. That's why they always on dirty diners and shit. They be always on dirty diners. Them fools be rolling out food and all that shit and leave all that rice on the ground. Them rats like eating that shit. Then the rats go looking for a little rice granule. Say, damn, these niggas got chicken and all that shit. And rats be all swimming through motherfucking soy sauce and shit. Like, fuck no. Everybody says, shit, I work, says I work Thai and they says, and they'll fuck you up, homie. Says, fuck you up too, homie. And Thomas Harris says, says on Sports Center right now. So Scott Van Pelt said, Stevenson says, fought like Floyd. Says to avoid damage, says on his way to become a 3 division. Damn, that's fucked up. Oh, damn, Shakur. Phil Bates laughing his ass off. Says I was flowing. Says, but I missed some bars. Yeah, you gotta slow down, man. And it says your case says, damn, says if a woman says puts up with me messing the bed up, says do the food poison, says that means she really digs you. Yeah, my chick used to love me, man. That's why I be looking back like, Danny. That's why I don't be having no negative shit to be bashing chicks for. Except I'll leave a relationship when they start bullshit. But I don't hate none of these chicks. Me bitch, man, these chicks used to dig me. I'd be like, damn, what these bitches used to like about my ass, man? Like, what the fuck they used to like about me, man? This is the conversation. Is this like, cause I ain't do all none of that flashy short, but nah, that chick really dug a motherfucker. Now I shitted in that motherfucker. And that food poison had me fucked up. Like, now I felt like I was gonna die. And then the other dumb part, I'd never go to the hospital. I'm still like that, but I was in there fucked up. Like that shit, like man, that shit had me fucked up. Like 2 or 3 times I had food poisoning. That's probably another reason why I'm leery like that. Like I don't fuck with like the food always eating, or if it's a place that look like these fools got the wrong employees working there. That's why hiring like food restaurants, you got to teach employees food safety, cooking food at the right temperature, cooking food to order. You don't want restaurants that just leave food sitting out. Because McDonald's used to do that shit. Used to go to McDonald's in the day. They have a bunch of burgers sitting up in there, fries already filled out to try to rush you through. Like, nah. And I mean, Jack in the Box used to deal with that shit too. Because back when I was a kid, and I think Jack in the Box faced a bunch of controversy. They was facing controversy about people accusing them of horse meat. I don't know if that was just some rumored shit put out by older people, because I used to always pay attention to shit. But Jack in the Box and horse meat. But Jack in the Box was having this real time where people was dying from their food. People was getting some kind of poisoning from the food at Jack in the Box. And people was dying and shit. Jack in the Box is having them lawsuits. That's why that Jack character to revive Jack in the Box is surprising seeing them. Plus, Jack in the Box was surviving off of those. They used to have them tacos. Jack in the Box had some cool menu items that was hidden. They had them tacos. They had those chicken sandwiches that was the shit. Those wedges, those stacked wedges with the sour cream and shit. And the cheese and shit, that shit had them rolling. But they was facing controversy off of people dying. I think somebody got burnt and sued their ass before off of some coffee or some shit. That was the other thing. When coffee was too hot, somebody got burnt in the suit and was, them fast food restaurants is going through shit. Philip A says, hell yeah, says it'd be dirty, says and old as fuck. And he talking about the Thai, the Asian restaurants. CGK says open kitchen takeout. Says where I can see the food getting made, or restaurants where I know the staff, the food will always be good. Yeah, or restaurants that just hold a high standard of quality of food and shit, that want to be in it for the long haul. Some restaurants like, what the fuck going on back there? Or if you see in the back of it, like, nah, man, some place you gotta be leery about where you get your food. Because that food poison will fuck you up. That food poison shit will fuck you up, man. Philip A says if they wear them gloves, says but even wearing gloves ain't always a thing. You want to make sure people are changing gloves, because just because you got gloves on don't mean you're clean. Now you use gloves to maybe treat meat, but you should be taking those gloves off so you don't go from touching raw food because you got gloves on. And if people say, "Oh, he's safe, he got gloves," he didn't grab this raw chicken out of where it went, put it on the grill, and then now you go grab some lettuce with the same ass gloves. You transferring whatever bacteria on this chicken over to fucking some vegetable and shit. So you got to still wash that shit. Just because they wearing gloves don't mean they sanitary. A nigga wear the same gloves, had them on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Don't let him have the same gloves on for a whole day. And then that don't make a motherfucker clean. Philip says if they wear them gloves, says they clean. No, that don't mean they clean. Says because they assholes. Says about that cleanliness. Says but that's good. Wearing gloves don't make a motherfucker clean. A motherfucker that gets rid of the gloves and get new gloves is what it is. Because you can't touch meat and then go touch some other shit. You can't touch meat and then touch surfaces and put some other shit on it. You can't do that shit. And that's why they be teaching that food safety shit. And Philip says, says any food came back through the window, says that shit went to the trash. And if Thomas Harris says is a former district and regional manager of a restaurant, says in a serve safe instructor, says I'm here to tell you many restaurants are nasty as hell. Says it's best to eat at home. Says check the health department scores. That's why I remember we used to be mad when LA was first rolling out the like grade scores for like restaurants. And we should be like, oh, they just trying to get this A and this low grade for this because of this and that. No, that shit. When the health inspectors go through those restaurants, if a restaurant ain't got a B, is kind of questionable too. If a restaurant ain't got an A, and then you want to check the date on that inspection, hopefully they doing routine inspections. You stay away from restaurants that even a B, you testing it. C, you better not ever eat there unless you just ain't got no money and you're eating in that shit. But you got to follow those scores, no doubt, because that means these people where the public can't see in the kitchen, a health inspector can go in there. They can't tell that health inspector you can't go in there or else they shutting their shit down. We're going to shut your restaurant the fuck down. And a lot of people don't store food properly, keep it at, like, man, you got to be leery about where you put your money at. And then they got to employ, and then if you're a restaurant, you got to make sure you employ the right people. Because the owner may build a company, you ain't going to be there all the time. You built this company enough, now you got to worry these employees doing the right shit. Because the minute one of them fucked up, they open you to a huge ass lawsuit. Says UK says I'm always super polite, says, and even say, change the gloves, please. Says one of my friends always lies and says he has allergies to make sure the staff are on point. Yeah, you got to watch. Just because people wear gloves don't mean they clean. And Philip Bates, because I see people when I'm doing some food shit, if we have some shit, wearing the same gloves, touching this, touching that, and don't change our gloves. No, you're supposed to change your gloves, man. And Philip Bates says, but I saw folks put extra spice on people's food, says a few times. To customers, says that were rude, says but that's it, says nothing too crazy. And I don't complain too much about the food, man. I don't be wanting to send back shit off. I can't go to places where people complain and too demanding of shit. I'd be like, oh hell no. They almost ruin my appetite because I know they back there spitting this shit. You complain to the waiter, oh, this ain't hot enough. They didn't chop up my vegetables like this and this and that, and they didn't do that. Send this back to the chef. Tell the chef if his ass can't cook, then he don't need to be working at night. Like, oh fuck nah. This time says, yeah, says we should do a Keith Lee show. Who the fuck is Keith Lee? Says cause some of these restaurants says act like it's a privilege to go to their establishment. Wait, who is Keith Lee? Yeah, and that's why I ain't big on tips. And when people I used to get in arguments about people where I'd be like, I ain't into that tipping shit. I don't believe you got to tip a motherfucker. Fuck you. You don't come at a customer about tip. You better go at the boss that brought your ass in here to work for wages that ain't good enough for you. And you think I must pay for this high priced ass food and then gonna pay your ass. Fuck you in this restaurant. I ain't coming to this shit. But if I feel like, okay, I'm feeling cool, I'm good. You ain't really doing shit but grabbing the food because I can't walk back there and get the shit. Otherwise, I want to get my own shit. But all this, you need the tip shit. Who the fuck are you motherfuckers established this shit? But yeah, it ain't open. Like you say, people be thinking it's a privilege to go to their restaurant, their establishment. Fuck these restaurants. Philip Bay says, for real, dude. Says I used to argue every time I went to work. Says then them old men try to get me to find some find them some prostitutes. He says them folks says just like niggas, man. I don't know why people think white people are some higher standard shit. Philip says UK Philip Bay says, yeah, so we all human, bro. Right. Philip Bay says, yeah, says we had to change them. Says after each order, says they was anal, says you can see if the gloves dry or not. But no, I think when you using gloves, it don't matter if the gloves are dry or not. I think when you go from handling certain kind of food product, you change your gloves out. You can't handle raw meat or work in a burger restaurant. You didn't took a burger out, put it on the grill, and you think you don't keep them same gloves on. Then you go to grab lettuce and cheese. No, you need to, as soon as you took them patties out for using gloves to grab them, you need to change your gloves. And you don't see a lot of people doing that shit. You're like, hey, motherfucker. I mean, I seen a motherfucker. I went to a donut shop one day. And this is a Winchell's. I never went back to this Winchell's. But I see this motherfucker, and I walk in because nobody in there. This fool mopping the fucking floor, doing all this other shit. Watch him cough, wipe his fucking nose or mouth or whatever. And then finish that. Okay, then this fool walks over there to try to say, oh, what kind of donuts I would. I looked at this motherfucker like, and I did like this as like, it took me a while to respond. I'm looking like, say, hey, homie, you ain't gonna wash your goddamn hands? Like, wasn't you just over there mopping that fucking floor and I watch you cough your hands? Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. And then the motherfucker wash his hand, but I'm kind of, while he washing the hands, I'm kind of thinking, I really don't even want this shit no more. But then like a true fat ass, I'm like, shit, I want an apple fucking fritter though. I'm looking like, man. Then the motherfucker's going, I said, home, you ain't gonna put no fucking gloves on. Oh, yeah. Then I'm waiting for him to say, oh, you being fucking, I was waiting for him to say some shit like that because I'm being calm. But really tripping off of how stupid and unsafe this motherfucker was being. I was like, I never been to that Winchell's again in my life. Like, I couldn't believe, or maybe I did go when some other people was there, but then you start seeing the same pattern of idioticness and the employees they were hiring at the Winchell's. I just stopped going. And I find this other donut spot that's kind of high, but the employees are more standard because they hold a higher standard on shit. Philip Bay says, hell yeah, to see it. And chef in the building says, man, Shakur look like he ain't want to engage. No, Shakur couldn't engage with that guy though. Much people talking about engagement. Shakur would have got knocked out trying to fight the fight that everybody wanted. But Shakur could have did more. Shakur could have jabbed a whole lot more. Damn, I'm talking about apple fritters and shit now. Look, I'm craving a fucking apple fritter. I ain't had an apple fritter in months. But now, see, yeah, let me get that shit out of my head. The base says, there was boxes on top of boxes, says of gloves. Says if you didn't change, they pull you from the line, says to get new gloves. Yeah, I think that's big to make restaurant workers change gloves. Like you gotta, food safety gotta be of standard. Philip A says, yep, says the health department scores is very accurate most times. Says Thai places, says I worked was okay, says but they was racist, says which didn't surprise me. And he says, says they watch. Why you keep writing these short ass comments to just add line by line? Says says they watch your ass on camera too. Says while you cook. Says food, what is that? Food Crockett from Atlanta, or food critic from Atlanta. Who is food critic from Atlanta? That's why you got to write this statement. I don't know what the hell, none of that. Food critic. What food critic? Are you talking about who's Deuce is talking about Kevin Lee? And then Tony Tuss says tip culture sucks in the US, says, but those workers survive on tips. So shouldn't be that way. Yeah, but I'll be like, I don't feel like every experience deserves a tip. I don't be thinking tip. Or you get some restaurants try to throw gratuity on shit. Like, who the fuck are you to put some shit on top of shit? Man, fuck that, man. Hey, man, I can't stand this shit. The fuck is gonna tell you gonna pay gratuity? Who the fuck is you motherfuckers? Your price is high as fuck. You ain't give a lot of food on that shit. Ain't enough food to take out, and you gonna talk about gratuity on top of your high shit because you don't want to pay your employees. Man, fuck you, stupid motherfuckers that create these problems in this country. Cause some old rich dipshit motherfucker walks in this motherfucking trying to set up a standard and push it off to the public, and the societal idiots buy into that shit. FSC says salute, bro. Philip A says they was loose. I don't know what that shit mean. And Thomas Harris says stay polite, trust me. Says women are the worst at complaining. Says, and I hate to say it, are women. Facts, bro. Says there's no telling what they're there's no telling what they're eating. Trust me. Says if everyone is clowning, I'm not ordering anything. Yeah, giggling and shit. When I walk in a place and people laughing and shit, or they giggling and shit, I'll be really at the point of, hey, cancel that shit. I ain't needing to hear what your giggling ass got going on. Give me my money back, refund that shit, keep it. I ain't fucking with y'all. That's why I don't go to that Farmer Boys shit no more. I used to stay cussing them motherfuckers out at Farmer Boys. They hire all these little immature ass little girls or goofy ass dudes, and they get the giggling and shit, or your order fucked up and they playing. I'd stop going to that shit. And I see a lot of people don't go to that Farmer Boys shit no more. And I don't fuck with people, man. You don't fuck with people with your mood, your food, and then they taking your money and shit. Give me my fucking shit. I sold my kids that shit. Like, and they be, no, we want to eat. No, you don't get nobody your fucking money. And especially when they fucking around with your food. Are they taking long to bring out your shit or order? No, give me my shit. You keep that fucking food. Give me my fucking money back. And don't let me in here have to go off on you motherfuckers. Put the shit back on my car to get my money for you be having to call the police up in this motherfucker. Phil Bay says you're right. It says, and you taught that safety says, and you taught that in safety orientation learning to chef. Thomas Harris says you wanted that apple fritter. Yeah, man, I'll be loving it. My pops used to eat apple fritters, man. I like the motherfuckers, man. Them the best kind of donuts when they fried, right? But yeah, I was craving that shit, thinking about that shit. Phil Bay says, laugh out loud. Says Thomas says, I'll be like, nah. Says I'm not hungry. Says I'll take a Dr. Pepper in a plastic cup. And then Phil Bay says, usually the hair being a net. So, and that's the other thing, people wearing hair nets. Says, and it's says, and it ain't no beards anywhere. Says if it's ran properly. Yeah, especially like people of other races, because you hear they have like little mites crawling in their hair and shit. Their hair falling in your food. Now the mites in your fucking food, and you ingesting that shit. Like especially like white and Latino and Asian hair, they gotta wear them nets. And even some black hair, but I don't think I hear them bugs don't live in the hair of black people and shit. But who knows? Dirty hair is dirty hair. So you don't know if really a motherfucker washing their hair and sweating throughout the day and hair follicles falling in your hair, your food. So it's more than just the mites sweating from a motherfucker head and other germs falling and shit. KG says you are meant. Is that supposed to be surprised how unsanitary Negroes are? The King Pours right hand says, I would never eat at Denny's ever in my life. Man, them Denny's and the employees there be trash sometimes. Says, and they food ain't all that good anymore. Says, I don't care if it's a grand opening. Says, because the one in my hood was so dirty and nasty. Says, when I was younger, because the employees don't keep up. They hire people coming off of drug treatment programs who can't qualify for food stamps no more, and they force to go work, and they hire these motherfuckers. And Philip H, and they don't give a fuck about cleaning this. And then Philip A says in Thai food, says you deal with a lot of different type of meat. Meat, nigga. Says I'm answering your dumb ass. Says as you make a statement, pay more attention, jackass. You can't write as I'm making a statement, fool. I'm be way behind while you making a statement and lost, retard. Thomas Harris, Philip A says exactly. Not exactly. Jaquan says, salute my brother, salute Jaquan. Man, y'all won't let me end this fucking stream and shit. We on food and shit. Let me get off of this shit. How long I been on this bitch? I was really talking about Shakur's stupid ass post-fight statement. Philip A says, this nigga said loose, says laughing my ass off, says loose. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. I may have to use my glossary on the internet. Says loose rhyme with mouse. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that shit with no L. Mouse, Laos. They're supposed to be Laos. And I know you ain't talking about like Laos and Cambodia because that ain't how you spell that shit. Said nigga says now try saying it Laos. That ain't how you say Laos, motherfucker. You fucking retard. You saying Laos over in that area. And then Thomas Harris says, salute chat, says going to troll Shakur. God damn, y'all going to troll Shakur. Ripper still skin right now on Twitter. And then Phil Bay says, I ate or you meant I ain't ever ate Denny's. Laughing his ass off. And look, this nigga Phil Bass calls me, you can't even spell Laos, because that ain't how you spell no fucking Laos, fool. That ain't how you spell Laos, you fucking retard. Trying to call somebody dumb. This motherfucker stupid. That shit Laos, motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker. How you spell fucking Laos, motherfucker? That nigga said, I always spell it, but I'm gonna make it from mouse to Laos. That ain't even a fucking word, fool. The country is Laos. Laos, motherfucker. This nigga crazy. Oh my fucking God, man. I knew I could while I wasn't figuring out how to pronounce that fucking word. That shit wasn't even a fucking word. This nigga crazy. Thomas Harris says weave is the worst. Oh man, them bitches be wearing weaves and oh my God. And wigs and shit. Says this shit is like dead cat, like a dead cat. Says it's dead hair. Says most top-notch stops. Says don't allow it in the kitchen. Says without a real hairnet. And then Philip says I might have spelled it. Says I might not have spelled it properly. Says but that's what I meant, bro. He laughed ass. He try to call somebody stupid and fucking up the whole spelling of the damn word or the country. Philip H in there laughing, in there rolling. Tony Touch in there rolling. Philip H laughing. This time he said, laugh my ass off. Says like the guy from the King of the Hill, man. Oh, the dad. Philip H says I was trying to get you to understand me too. What the fuck did this nigga write? Like, what the word is this? We're trying to spell Laos. Calling me dumb. This shit wasn't even a word. But folks, I'm out of here. This nigga Philip H crazy, man. Peace, folks. This nigga crazy.